Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning, Vision Charter School, our school of the day. Let's go back to Bobby. Bobby, so last time we were talking, for people just tuning in, you said some days are more difficult than others, and you seem to like chemistry. What's up with that?
Well, it's very math involved, and I like math. It's fun.
Wait a minute. You're saying math is fun?
Yes. My grandpa used to be a math professor at NNU.
Now, how old are you?
I am 15.
You're 15 and you like math. See, folks, there's hope for America thanks to Bobby at Vision Charter. What's your favorite topic besides music? Is it math? Is it chemistry?
It's math.
It is math. What would you like to do when you're done?
Well, done with high school?
Yes.
Well, I want to major in music, probably education.
Okay. That sounds like a good career. All right, Bobby, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you waking up so early. Great job, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bobby. Kevin Miller in the morning here. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. More from Vision Charter coming up. We've got some other great folks. Remember, promote our schools, secure our future each and every day. I would love it to be each and every day, but it is on Fridays throughout the Treasure Valley. We're still getting our wind beneath our wings, and thanks to CapEd Credit Union and Team Mazda Subaru, we're going to have a great year once again. By the way, a big movie coming out. Could be a blockbuster once again. It's from Marvel.
Captain Marvel does something specific to film goers. It transports them back while moving them forward.
We found you.
Brie Larson stars as the maybe alien superhero on Earth to do battle with the shape-shifting Skrull race. It's set to a specific time period never before seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as we soon realize this Kree has a past on Earth as an Air Force pilot from the 90s.
Grunge is a good look for you.
Did you have a rough day, Agent Fury?
Larson is uber confident and cocky, as is her earthly sidekick, Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, as if they were answering their audience's screams. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Oh, my gosh. What does that make you feel like when you hear that music? Going back to the 90s. Now, there is some concern within the Marvel universe, and we have those stories available on KIDOTalkRadio.com that we're starting to get into the social justice stuff, which, of course, derailed Star Wars and everything else. When will those folks learn that we just want to be entertained? You know, the NFL finally figured it out. We just want to watch people play football. We just want to be entertained by a movie. I don't need to be lectured by a superhero. I need to be inspired, right? Captain Marvel, #1 at the box office. We predict that for you. By the way, our story concerning kissing cousins and marrying your cousin in Utah is available on KIDOTalkRadio.com right now. Back to Vision Charter School. We're joined by Chandra. Chandra, you're a senior there. You're getting your associate's degree before you graduate. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about you're going to be graduating this year, and you're already going to have an associate's degree. How does that work?
So starting in middle school, I would say they kind of get you into it. They, because you have college prep classes and stuff, and so they really talk to you about how important college is and planning ahead. And they have like fast forward programs, and then Idaho has funding programs to help you get your education paid for. So that's a big reason that I decided to get my AA, was because most of it was paid for by Idaho. To make it easier.
Well, that'll make it easier indeed. What will you do once you graduate and then get your AA? What will you do after that? What will you pursue? Any thoughts?
I'm planning on going to BSU and majoring in general music.
Really, it seems to be the theme of this program right now. Music is so important. Apparently, from what we hear, you have an amazing vocal talent. You write songs, you play guitar. What else do you do?
Do you mean musically or?
No, besides music.
Honestly, music's kind of it. I go to school and then go to because you have to take extra classes to get your AA, like college on-campus classes, so I do that, and then I just write songs and go and perform places.
Sure. Was that intimidating at first?
Performing?
No, getting your college classes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't take on-campus classes until last summer, but after the first class, it's really not that bad because we go to CWI, and it's a really community-oriented campus, and they're all really nice, and it's pretty common.
Even the old people?
Yeah, they'll make a lot of comments and be like, "How's high school today?" But they're nice. So
That's great. How important is education to you?
both of my parents are educators, so I would say from a very young age it's been very important, and they really instilled in me and my little sister that you really need a college education in today's world. So very important.
Right. You're looking forward to getting it, right?
Yeah.
Chandra, anything else you'd like to share with us today?
I would say if you're in high school, think about getting your AA.
All right. Words to live by. We can't wait to hear you more and more. Thank you, Chandra.
Thank you.
Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's go live to the White House. When you hear Fox News on the radio, you're listening to 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. John Decker joining us now. Mr. Decker, how are you today?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How are you doing today, Kevin? Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you. Now, do you ever really get any off time, or are you just always on?
Well, I do. I work hard, as you know, Kevin. The president just departed for visiting the areas very hard hit by those tornadoes in Alabama. He left just moments ago with the First Lady and his son Barron, because once they leave Alabama, they'll travel from there to Mar-a-Lago, where he'll spend the weekend. But he took some questions prior to his departure. One of the questions was mine, actually, and I think it's going to make news literally all day today. My question had to do with his reaction to the vote in the House of Representatives today concerning that resolution on anti-Semitism, and the president, in his answer, labeled the Democratic Party anti-Israel and anti-Jewish, and that's the reason why I think that this will dominate much of the news cycle today. Yes, he did respond to how he feels about his former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, being sentenced to 4 years in prison. But I think that the big headline coming out from the departure are his remarks concerning the resolution, Kevin, that took place in the House of Representatives yesterday.
And people are still continuing to go back and forth on this, some calling it watered down, some saying that Representative Pelosi might have her hands full keeping the folks in line.
Well, look, I think that what you're seeing is, I think, a lot of hand-wringing going on right now in the party that's controlled by Nancy Pelosi in the House of Representatives, the Democrat Party, because of what happened on that anti-Semitism resolution. They had a member who said something clearly anti-Semitic, and I don't think there's any way of viewing what Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, did other than a cave. And she caved to a freshman member of Congress. And I don't think it's going to be good. It seems as if, it's hard to say this, but I do believe it's true. There is a very real possibility that 3 House freshmen may cause Democrats the possibility of winning the White House. And one of those is Ilhan Omar, the person who made that anti-Semitic comment that led to that resolution being passed yesterday.
All right, John Decker, you're going to have to follow up on that one. When you say 3 House Democrats, why would you say they would cost the Democrats the White House, sir?
Well, the president himself said it today. I think the president called the Democratic Party anti-Israel, anti-Jewish. I mean, I've never heard any president refer to the other party by those words. And believe me when I say this, Kevin, no matter what 24-hour cable network you flip on today, those comments are going to reverberate around the country. And, let's face it, Democrats, in the same manner that they count on the votes of African Americans in presidential elections, in terms of the overwhelming majority of African Americans vote with Democrats in presidential elections, the overwhelming majority of Jewish Americans vote with Democrats in presidential elections. And the action that the House of Representatives took yesterday in terms of watering down that anti-Semitism resolution in the manner that it did, I think will impact the Democratic Party in a very negative way.
John Decker, you've been around for a long time. Were you surprised that you had Representative Omar really being backed by Bernie Sanders and Senator Harris? Obviously, they're running for president. They would realize the importance of condemning these remarks, but it seems that she got a pass from them.
Well, that's right. It's not a surprise from Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is like the lead dog in terms of the progressive part of the Democratic Party. And, if you're the lead dog and you want to get the Democratic Party nomination in 2020, you don't want to in any way upset that particular part of your party. That's the reason why he's backing her. And the same thing can be said for Kamala Harris. She's competing for those same votes. And that's the reason why you saw the comments coming from her as well. It's interesting, I think more interesting perhaps, Kevin, to see the presidential aspirants from the Democratic Party who did not come out with a comment as it relates to yesterday's vote in the House of Representatives, more so than who did comment, because, they want to have it both ways. They want to somehow straddle trying to make certain that the traditional elements of the Democratic Party support them, and at the same time, they want to get the support of the progressives in the party, and that's a very difficult thing to do because ultimately they're going to get pinned down. They're going to get pinned down out on the campaign trail or during the debates that will take place in just a few months for the Democratic Party nomination. And, I think that, staking out that kind of position is a very dangerous place to be.
John Decker, congratulations on getting the shot of the day.
Oh, thanks a lot. Obviously there's a lot of interest in getting the president's reaction to his former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, being sentenced. But, I think sometimes people, my colleagues, sometimes don't realize that there is some sort of low-hanging fruit. And, you ask the president a question like that, he's going to hit it out of the ballpark in terms of making news and driving the news cycle, and that's exactly what he did today.
John Decker, take care, and tennis season's begun, so I know you're fired up.
I'm going to be out in California all next week, Kevin. You read my mind, so that's where the BNP Paribas Open is going to take place, and unfortunately I won't get a chance to talk with you next week, but I'll be out in sunny Indian Wells, California, so I look forward to that. Thanks for remembering that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, John.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Tom in Nampa with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. So we hear the soundbite of the day, thanks to our own John Decker. Tom, good morning.
Good morning. Got a question. I read that they imported some Canadian wolves to take care of a moose problem they had up in Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, why did they, import Canadian wolves? There are probably American wolves that could use a moose meal. Now, it's okay. They were brought in by the government, so they are in this country legally. I'm just wondering is after they eat the moose, are they going to go back to Canada?
Probably not. They're going to look for asylum.
Yeah, now grant the vets looked them over. The veterinarians looked them over before they, brought them in. So they have been properly vetted. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just thinking, there are probably some unemployed American wolves that we could have got in here. Why are we going outside the country?
Well, maybe the Canadian wolves.
In Arizona,
right, but maybe
if they have a problem in Arizona, are they going to import Mexican wolves?
Maybe the Canadian wolves are going to do the jobs that American wolves won't do.
I take, great umbrage at that. I really don't believe that's a problem. Thank you for playing along with this on this portion of our show.
I appreciate that, Tom. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I like that. The Canadian wolves are doing the job that American wolves won't do, allegedly. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's go to Doug in Mountain Home with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. Oh, it's really good to hear that the Democrats are eating themselves again. I hope they eat themselves completely up. How about you, Kevin?
Look, I'm not happy about what they're doing to the president and their allegations, but they're getting a taste of their own medicine now.
Yeah, they what? I didn't catch that.
They're getting a taste of their own medicine, even though they're using their committees to try and derail and get rid of our president. But yes, they are getting a taste of their own medicine.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm a sinner, Kevin. I mean, God knows who everybody is. But them people are hypocrites. Absolute freaking hypocrites. They are eating themselves, and I know God has got his whole hand in this, trying to protect this country of what it was born with, clear back when it first became a country, because God instilled them men that made this country. You know what I'm saying, Kevin?
Exactly. The Lord helped us create this beautiful country, and the Lord will protect us.
Yep. And anybody that turns their back on Israel, boy, Katie bar the door, because God talks about that all over in his word. And this guy that we have as a president, you've heard me say this over and over. This guy is an American. I don't have TV, Kevin, but I heard, and I know a lot of it. I got told yesterday by somebody, a lot of it is because he knows how to act, but he knows how to hit. He knows how to, just like John Decker just said, hit it out of the ballpark, and he did. I heard that at that CPAC, when he come walking out, Kevin, he walked right past the podium, walked past the microphones, and walked over and hugged the American flag. And just like the friend of mine that was telling me that and watched that, he said nobody else even looks at the flag.
Yeah. Well, then you had the comedians making fun of him.
What's that?
You had the comedians making fun of him.
Oh, yeah. They can make fun of all they want. You know, I think we're really, Kevin, I really do feel we're going to see an awakening at this election coming up. I really do. The only thing that scares me is these college brats. And I heard that the Democratic Party, correct me if I'm wrong, but they are trying to they want to pass a bill. I guess they already introduced it. They want to pass a bill to make it on voting day. They want to make it a national holiday so they can, shut everything down, and they want to do a whole bunch of mass moving their troops all over the place with their buses and all that. And I heard Mitch McConnell said, good luck with getting that bill on the floor of the Senate. Now, have you heard any of that?
I just did with you, Doug. I got to run. Thank you for the call. More of your calls next. Remember, we're promoting our school, securing our future. Our friends at Vision Charter School today. So appreciate those guys opening their doors for us. We're going to hear more from our friends at Vision next. Thanks to CapEd Credit Union, T Mazda Subaru, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And I'm Kevin Miller. Let's get back to your phone calls. Steve in Meridian, thank you for joining us on KIDO Talk Radio. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Kevin, good morning. Happy Friday to you.
And to you, sir.
There's a topic that seems to be something that people in the world are infatuated with, and that's race. What you look like, your skin color and all that. And in particular, the topic about Israel and such. And I'm disappointed that so many people don't regard the fact that it matters not so much what you look like and what your ethnicity is, but rather what decisions you make in life and your character. And in particular, you had a caller a few minutes ago that said, God, anybody who turns their back on Israel, watch out for them. And, being a Christian guy, a Bible teacher, in fact, I have to say that the greatest thing about, there's a difference between the current political nation of Israel versus Israel of the Bible. Big difference. And in fact, the great thing that over the millennia that God did for people is he sent Jesus. And that's the big distinguishing fact is some people acknowledge that Jesus is legit, some don't. And if the Bible's true, suggesting that it no longer matters if you're Judean or Gentile, but it matters that anybody can believe. And so currently in the world, even though people are still emphasizing the physical characteristics of people as if your ancestors somehow give you more cred if they're of a certain bloodline or not, that is no longer a factor. And so when I constantly see our country battling about race, our race is better, their race is better, or oh no, don't be anti-Semitic. Let's freak out that less than 1% of our nation is being picked on. Well, there's plenty of people being picked on, in particular Christians most of all. And I just have to say that I am grateful that the United States is a political ally of Israel, because that's helpful for us in that part of the world. But it is not a spiritual, God, Bible-based reason why we need to be aligned with that particular group of people right now. In fact, history shows that the people who currently live there are not the descendants of the Bible anyway. And so I just wanted to share those points with you, that when people think it through, they need to be educated and informed a lot more to realize that just because a name is prevalent and there are quote-unquote holy lands where Jesus did this and that, it has no bearing whatsoever on life right now. It's completely a moot point. And we should just regard our allies as in who is our friend, who's willing to stand for what is right and true, like America has tended to do for the last couple hundred years. So that's what I was going to say, Kevin. Thanks for letting me pipe in.
Steve, you're always welcome here on KIDO Talk Radio.
Appreciate it, sir. Have a great Friday.
All right. God bless. Let's go to Chris in Boise with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Chris.
Hi there. Minor thing. The wolves that they have introduced into the United States are Canadian wolves. There is a difference between the wolves that were typically native. They were smaller, and they weren't as, I understand, as aggressive, but they were definitely smaller. And so there is a difference. But, yes, they do have a job to do. So, all right, you have a great day.
Chris, thank you for calling KIDO Talk Radio with that information. Appreciate you. You're welcome, Kevin. Let's go to John in Middleton with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Hello, John.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. Just kind of a random observation, but what is up with all these liberals and their stupid Paulette Jordan stickers still plastered on their cars? I don't get it. Why? Why do they leave their losers up forever on their cars like this? It's so weird. Maybe they're just going to leave it up till it fades into oblivion, hopefully like Paulette's career here in Idaho. I don't know, but it's something weird by where they keep up their losers on their cars forever like that.
John, you made my morning. Thank you.
Hey, have a good weekend, Kev.
You too. Thank you for listening to KIDO Talk Radio. You made our weekend, right? 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We're joined by Pro-Life with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Then we'll be going back to Vision Charter. But first, Pro-Life, good morning.
Well, I still have a Barry Goldwater sticker on my car.
Well, that's reassuring.
Well, anyway, what I wanted to ask is, I don't know if public schools in Idaho have to have sex education. Those courses are offered. Now, I don't know if the charter schools have that or not, but you could ask while you're there, and I don't think that the sex education is a proper role of public education. So that's all I wanted to say, and maybe you can ask one of those people if.
Well, you seem to have that on your mind quite a bit.
Yeah, I do. I have sex on my mind. But anyway, no.
Well,
really,
we'll pass on that one. Thank you, Pro-Life, and give my regards to the relations police. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Kevin.
And let's go to Vision Charter School once again. Becky Mitchell joining us, who's been very patient. She's Idaho's Teacher of the Year. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
Thank you for having us there. I know it's a little convoluted, but thank you for your patience.
No problem.
What makes a great teacher?
Oh, my word. So you're going to start out with an easy question.
It's always better to ask the questions than to answer them.
I know. A great teacher has great relationships with his or her students. And it's actually what makes it wonderful to come teach every single day. I enjoy my students. I enjoy watching them grow and the questions they come up with daily and the projects they're able to accomplish. So, yeah, great relationships with students.
Well, that seems easier said than done.
Most of the time when I tell people that I'm with teenagers all day long, they go, God bless you. I could never do that all day long.
I imagine it keeps you young.
That's what they tell me. But the gray hairs would say otherwise.
I think we can all relate to that. How is Vision Charter different from other schools?
One of the reasons I came here 10 years ago is it's a K through 12 school. And so that's allowed my own children to come here, and I've been able to watch them, go through the grades and grow. But the other thing that we're able to do is just really track a student throughout that time. So, any needs they have, we're able to scaffold them. We're able to challenge them. And so, for example, my daughter just graduated last year from Vision with 2 AA degrees. And so she actually graduated from CWI before she graduated from Vision, and that's because we can challenge a student anywhere they need to go, and as far as they can go.
Well, again, we take a look at education, and it always seems to be the bad news, and that's one of the reasons why for over 8 years we've been to schools like Vision Charter, like to all schools in the Treasure Valley, to get the good news out. Is it frustrating? It's almost, and I don't want to get political here, Becky, but it's almost like faux news because all we ever hear about is bad news. But every day, teachers and students and parents and administrators and bus drivers and cafeteria workers put the chin straps on and make a big difference in our state.
Absolutely. And, we're heading into a teacher shortage, which is scary to me. And it's because of all the bad news that makes it seem like teachers are not doing their job or that we don't care about kids, when the opposite is true. We come every day because we care so deeply about them. We care about their futures. And we want to see them succeed as much as any other stakeholder that we're in partner with.
Right. And it truly is a partnership.
It is, and that's one of the things that's been exciting about working here is the parents are partners, the community are partners. Right now we make sure that our seniors go out and intern or job shadow somewhere in the community, and the community stepped up and come up with amazing opportunities. Right now we have a student who's going to go look at the robotic equipment that they use for laparoscopic surgery. What an amazing partnership to help our kids find their perfect future.
Boy, the last time I was there, you had robots chasing me around the halls, and those robots were a lot quicker than I am.
We couldn't do that to you today, Kevin.
I can sense the disappointment, Becky, and trust me, we will definitely be there. What would you say to parents? And I know you deal with parents all the time, but for parents listening right now and saying, okay, that's great for Vision Charter, but any uniform information you can give to really help them motivate their kids?
Well, I would say that parents always know that teachers have your back, too, as parents. We're all parents, and we know that kids lose their minds and have a really hard time, especially through those adolescent years. So know that we have your back and really communicate with us, talk to us, and we'll all have the same goals for your kids. Challenge your kids. My youngest, for example, was really struggling in middle school until we started to challenge him. And then all of a sudden he came alive. So, work really closely with your teachers and challenge your kids.
That's so important. And to challenge them in the right ways, because, Becky, as we know, if you challenge them a certain way, that could lead to kids not being interested in learning, right?
Yeah, the key is to find their strengths. So, for example, if they really love art, go find them a digital art program where they can flourish and learn those skills that they're going to need in their job someday, but in the area that really interests them.
And, Becky, anything else that you can share with us today?
Just that, thank you for supporting schools. Thank you for supporting teachers. We are the future. And any listeners out there who think they want to be a teacher, please be a teacher. It is the most rewarding thing that you could ever do.
I would say it's one of the more demanding things as well. I mean, it's like being a superhero. With great power comes great responsibility in light of Captain Marvel coming out.
That's right. And I feel like Captain Marvel every day.
Being awarded Teacher of the Year, what was that like?
It's such a surprise because when you put in your application, and that's our door prop thing, by the way, which what we do to keep our students safe, you don't know what's coming. And so you, all of a sudden, the superintendent's in your classroom and handing you, a bouquet and flowers. And then you don't realize that you're going to meet the president, you're going to travel all over the nation and maybe all over the world. And it just is an amazing honor. But then it's so fun to also bring that back to the students. For example, I was able to go to Berlin this last summer, but then I brought back all that history and all the literature to my kids who were learning it right now in English 11. So it's been an amazing, and I can't thank Superintendent Ybarra and the state of Idaho enough for what that year's meant to me and to my students.
Becky, again, I'm kind of holding you over here, but most of us will never get to meet the president, never be honored by him. Can you share a little of that with us?
One of the things that going to Washington, D.C. did for me was make me really proud of our country again. Washington, D.C. is an amazing democracy. I met all, the staffers of all our senators and all our representatives. Going to the White House and being treated like a special guest. I mean, it just makes you feel like at least some people understand how important teachers are to the next generation and the future of our country. We also met the vice president, and we met, Marlon Bundo, the vice presidential bunny, and we were in every way treated like they would treat one of their diplomatic guests, and that was amazing.
And you're back here in Idaho.
I'm back here in Idaho.
Not missing a beat. Becky, we appreciate you. We're going to hear more from your friends at Vision. We thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. All right, Becky Mitchell, the Idaho Teacher of the Year. KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning. Phone number is 580-5436. Our school of the day is Vision Charter. Before we get back to our friends there, we're going to go to Johnny in Boise. And this is the magic of the Kevin Miller Show here on KIDO Talk Radio. We had Tom from Nampa mention wolves. Then we had Chris from Boise respond. And now we've got Johnny in Boise talking more about Canadian wolves doing the jobs that American wolves would not do. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
All things considered, still living the dream. And you?
Doing good. Yeah, I just wanted to call in and give you kind of a firsthand perspective on the damage that these Canadian wolves are doing here in Idaho. I'm born and raised here in Idaho, and my family lineage goes back a long time here in Idaho, and everything from running sheep on grazing sheep on public lands and watching and coming and seeing their animals just slaughtered with 2 bites taken out of the belly and just all the meat, left to rot. I've got a fish and game friend, and he actually sent a picture to me, and this is a couple years ago, but the Canadian wolves, they were introduced, I believe, around 95, and they absolutely killed all of our gray wolves that were native to here in Idaho. And the last gray wolf was killed off, I want to say 8 years ago, and not one has been spotted since. And these animals are used to killing and hunting in lot larger packs than our native wolf, and they're used to killing animals such as moose, musk ox, caribou, and then they get here and just completely decimate our elk population. There was pictures, like I was saying, that my fish and game buddy showed me, and it was 19 calf elk just slaughtered out of a herd for the sport. Not one had been eaten, more than just killed, bellies ripped open. But not only that, we have a cabin up in Idaho City. I mean, dogs go missing all the time. They're out of control. The population, it exploded beyond anything Fish and Game had imagined. But why they were brought here in the first place, there's still several different kind of BS answers to that, but not one legit answer why they were brought here in the first place. People say, well, they would have came over eventually anyways, but they had lived, they've lived hundreds and hundreds of years without coming in and quote unquote cohabitating with our native animal, our native wolf. So if you get a chance,
and Johnny, you bring up a very good point. When I first got here, Governor Otter tried to get that ban lifted from shooting those wolves, and we had a lot of people calling in and pressuring the legislature about the Canadian wolves. And you've really described the issue that continues to permeate where people can't protect their flock, they can't protect their cattle, and you have these massive predators that need to be dealt with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I encourage anyone. I do a lot of deer and elk hunting. I encourage everyone, pick up a wolf tag. I think they're $5 to $7. Just buy a wolf tag when you're out there hunting your big game, and if you see a wolf, kill it. And not only, I mean, you can get good money for a wolf pelt. So it's kind of a win-win situation. But the kicker is they're extremely smart, very hard animals to hunt. And I've seen them, and I shot at one, missed it, but I've hunted since I was 12 years old, and I've only seen maybe 2 total. So I mean, they're there. I've seen all the evidence of it. I've seen what they leave behind, just desecrating our native animals, and they're just gone. I mean, very, very smart, weary, sleek animals.
Johnny, thank you for the call and the wolf update. Let's go to McKendra Green. She joins us now from Vision Charter School. She's a senior there. McKendra, thank you for waiting. Good to have you on.
Thanks.
So now let's talk a little bit about this honor. You were participating in Vent, Idaho. You've won first place in regionals and state. Can you share with us that experience?
Yeah, it was awesome. I really didn't expect to win. I kind of just went into it just for the fun of it, and I took first place in both regional and state, so it was a really fun honor.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, I don't know. I was really excited. I wasn't actually able to be at regionals, but my mom and sister were there, and they accepted my award for me and then called me, and I was like, no, I didn't. And they did. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to state.
Amazing. And we can hear your enthusiasm from your time at Vision Charter. Can you describe your project?
So I did a light safety jacket, and it's basically a jacket for runners and bikers, and it's powered by movement with LED lights, and it's for low light situations so that they have a lesser chance of getting hit.
Boy, something that we can all relate to.
Yes, very much.
Now, we hear that you're going to graduate with your degree already. You're a senior?
Yes, I'm going to graduate with my AA degree before I graduate from high school.
And what are you looking to do? I know everybody says you got to have a plan, but what's yours?
So my plan, I want to become a nurse. So basically just working for a little while, and then I want to go to Boise State.
That sounds great. It seems like public service is in your blood.
I love service, and I love helping people.
Well, you sure do make a difference, McKendra. Tell us about your time at Vision. How long have you been there, and what do you get out of it? Why is it special to you?
So I've come here since the first year that it opened, so 12 years ago. I was a little first grader, and we were all in portables, and since then we've moved into a beautiful big building, and oh man, I love it here. There's so many friends and great teachers, and they've really encouraged me.
Well, McKendra, we appreciate you. Good luck, and we can't wait to read and hear about you more, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we get rolling here, we'll go to the sweet prince of the Treasure Valley, our little tulip, Tea Party Bob.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. How are you today?
Well, we're eastbound and down. We don't have a lot of time, Tea Party Bob, but that's why you're here.
Well, I just wanted to get to the gentleman who wanted to know why I was so angry when I get on every day.
There was a young man yesterday who smacked you, yes.
I came here 25 years ago, and this place was a paradise. I brought my kids out here. It was a place where we had a lot of liberties. We had a lot of freedoms. We had legislators who actually did what they said they were going to do during their campaigns. But that's changed. All of that's changed dramatically. We now have a bunch of people who are in our legislature who really don't care about what goes on in Idaho, except what the lobbyists tell them should be going on. And to give you an example, we have a Senator, Chuck Winder, who had 2 bills he killed in the Senate. One was HB 133, requiring the state to inform parents of school-age children they have the right to opt out of immunization. not allowing them the hearing on this vote, curtails their knowledge, and doesn't give them the opportunity to know that they have the opportunity to opt out of immunizations. The second one is HB 203, which would have protected our children in the classroom from wandering marauders with teachers who actually are trained and armed. Instead of, as Chuck thinks, maybe gun-free zone signs are more important, and they're going to protect our kids.
Okay, we have 10 seconds left.
This.
We have 10 seconds left. Are you running for governor?
Oh, gosh, I'd love to run for governor. Give me $2 million, I'll be there.
All right, there we have it. Thank you, Tea Party Bob. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.